So who we've got? Um, wait, Gunny, right? Okay,
Yeah, Gunny 60.
there you are. Okay. Oh, you're on red team. That sucks. That's gonna confuse me. Um, so you're bronze, high bronze, new to the game. How long have you been playing? Just Overwatch 2,
Um,
right?
well, I started in Overwatch 1 very shortly after the final beta came out, so I would say like August, I think. And I played mainly quick play with my friends, but then when Overwatch 2 came out, that's when I wanted to like start taking the game a little bit more seriously, since obviously it was going to be really difficult to learn Overwatch 1 and then have to relearn everything when the new game launched.
So you've been playing Overwatch since the beta.
The no, no the Overwatch 2 beta,
Oh, the Overwatch
yes. Not
2 beta. Okay,
yes, 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 yes.
okay, I see. So on tank, the main thing we're going to be looking at is your positioning, your cooldown management to see like how effective your cooldowns are, right? Your
Okay.
target priority to see like who you're shooting at, especially since you're playing Orisa, and then how you like peel for your team, how you protect your team. Okay.
Okay.
If you have any questions while we're doing this, feel free to stop me.
Okay.
I tend to ramble on and get distracted, so hang on. This might just be a replay thing. Okay, it is just a replay thing. Did you
Yeah, I was
see?
gonna say I saw
Did you
that. I
did you see
I
that
saw
too?
that. I saw
Okay.
that T posing.
Okay. Okay. So this is generally fine. What we want to do is kind of push past the cart and take as much space as we can. Um, we are kind of using our cooldowns too quickly back to back, and we're kind of like still like in this area
Hmm.
where quit that. We're here and we kind of want to be like pushing past the cart and using our cooldowns to get to this corner over here, and that way we can hold that corner.
Okay.
So now that we've used our cooldowns, right? Now we're using whatever this stupid ability is called.
Javelin spin.
Yeah, and then now we're not really going anywhere. You know what I mean? We're kind of
Hmm.
stuck here. Okay, generally, when Genji's deflecting in front of us, we don't want to like continue to shoot him, right? And we also want to like shoot somebody else.
Yeah, I didn't realize until right as the deflecting start what was going on.
Yeah, and I mean, Orisa is a projectile character. Like, you can't really help if you like projectiles continue to shoot him once you've stopped. You can't help that. So what's happening?
I was trying to get the Kiriko, but I missed my javelin. I missed my javelin throw, and she got a teleport off, and so I tried to peel away to go for the Genji that was attacking my back line.
So what's happening other than yourself?
My back line is being harassed by the Genji, and they're getting picks off on my DPS.
Yes. How many players are on your team alive right now?
Uh, two,
Right.
including me.
So we need to be a little bit more aware. We get picked off here. That's really not really your fault. The thing you need to do better is just applying more pressure to the enemy team, landing more accuracy, landing more shots, landing more damage. Okay,
Okay.
that's really since Orisa doesn't have a shield anymore. That's how you protect your team. Is you be a threat to their life, right? You can kill them, javelin them, stun them. You make space. You take this corner. Okay, you haven't really done any of that, and that's why your team. Nice. Okay, we could really save that, walk to the cart, and then javelin spin to take this corner, right?
Okay.
Just a suggestion. We generally want to always move forward while we're javelin spinning like this. Okay, here in like the past like 15-20 seconds, we're actually like being a tank, okay? You're playing Orisa how you should. You're pushing past this cart, you're pushing everyone back, you're using your cooldowns to create space, okay? This right here
Okay.
is what you need to be doing the whole game.
Question real quick.
Hmm?
When it comes to like being aggressive, this is when I like fat fingered my ult by accident. So I do apologize about that one. When it comes to like creating and like taking space like this, obviously I know like I want to wait to get past the objective to use my cooldowns, but when it comes to like playing around my health, when is like a good time if it seems like heals are being pretty inconsistent, but there's not a lot happening within the back line, when as I tank should kind of like back off and wait for the supports to heal?
Heal you?
Yes.
Like when
I don't.
you lose your armor.
Okay. Okay.
Because arm
Because I
armor.
have noticed in like some games, like healing can be kind of inconsistent, despite the fact there's not like much going on in the back line outside of the occasional like poke. And so I've been still trying to learn how to like properly manage when I should be like playing hyper aggressive and when I shouldn't be.
So if you're half health, you don't have your armor, and you don't have any of your cooldowns that could like potentially save you, then you need to take cover like immediately. Hide
Okay.
behind the cart, hide behind a wall or something, and get healed back up. And in that span, you should have something of your cooldowns back while you're waiting for that. It's kind of the same idea with Ryan. Ryan loses his armor, he doesn't have shield, kind of in a bad spot, right? Orisa's quote unquote shield is her, um, like we talked about before, her like damage ability, her cooldown usage, that kind of stuff. Orisa, for the most part, if played correctly, is pretty much unkillable if your healers kind of do any kind of healing towards you at all, and you're decent at managing your cooldowns and your positioning. You
Okay.
can't really kill Orisa. Um, so to answer your question, it's more like managing that awareness that like, oh, I'm about to die, I need to do something, and then not allowing yourself to die. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that does. Just basically like play with my armor, play with my cooldowns, and if I'm down on both of them, take cover until something comes back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I accidentally fat finger my ult and just try to get out of it.
Okay, your general awareness is low, and that's not something that you can like coach. The only thing that you can really do to improve your awareness, two things that I can recommend. One,
Mhm.
just play the game. And I hate saying that because a lot of coaches, when they coach, they're just like, it'll get better if you just play the game. Generally speaking, awareness will improve if you just play the game and you learn the ebb and flow of the game, and you can predict, oh, they have a soldier, so he's probably going to be over here, or they have Anna, so she's probably going to set up over here, right? Um, Secondly, you can try to put some kind of like sticky note near your screen or a timer on your phone that goes off, or something that you can
Hmm.
recognize without really distracting you too much from the screen, and that'll remind you, hey, pick a character from your team or the enemy team, and if you can immediately pinpoint where that character is, then you failed. Okay, so you need to what that's doing is you're mentally tracking where that character is at all times. Make
Okay,
sense?
makes sense. Yeah, just focus on playing the game more. Try to like predict where heroes will be, kind of depending on what they are. Like in the case of the soldier, try to look for high grounds and flanks that would be exposing my backline more heavily than other flanks would.
Mm-hmm. Okay, generally in this span, and
Hmm.
in like other images of your gameplay, your cooldowns are like trash. Um, like using javelin spin there, completely useless. Absolutely nothing. Trying to javelin him here, good play. We missed. That's okay, it happens. We fortified. I'm assuming because we didn't want to die. Good play. Javelined her. Good play. Issue is we didn't have any follow up on it. We were too focused on the Zarya here. We pushed past the Zarya, which is what we should do, because we can't really kill the Zarya by ourselves. We go after her, that's fine. Try to javelin her, that's fine. We're too focused on the Zarya here again. Did you play on PC or console?
PC. I'm trying to work on my aim.
Your aim isn't what I'm worried about, it's your reaction time. I think you might have already clicked the button and the game just hadn't caught up to you yet. But it just seemed kind of, in my mind, it seemed like a big time gap between
Mhm.
her teleporting and you.
I mean, it could be the game like hitched there for a second, and also my reaction time at the same time wasn't fully there. Um, I don't have exactly the greatest like setup. I know like a lot of people, especially for competitive games like Overwatch, like 144 is kind of the standard, and uh, obviously like having good ping and kind of just working with what I can. So.
What is your setup right now?
Well, I am on just a regular like 60 hertz monitor, and I am on like a halfway decent connection, but especially on like days like this, I was just having spikes into like 80 milliseconds. So,
Let me tell you, a pro player would do absolutely fine on 60 frames a second in ranked until they get to like GM. Um, I think until up until like GM, it doesn't really make a
hmm.
difference. GM it does. So that's perfectly fine. Um, internet, yeah, it's a big deal. But when you hear your javelin is a great tool to actually isolate and kill squishies. and you miss a lot of them.
Hmm.
If I had to guess, there's probably already a replay, or not a replay, a workshop code for this that you could look up
Okay.
to practice. Practicing in Overwatch is probably like 10% of the game. 5% maybe. So what's your plan going in?
Plan going in was to try to find the high priority targets like the soldier or the supports and try to focus them down. But also like partially the plan was to try to touch point since we are kind of getting low on time.
So look for squishies if you can isolate them and touch the point.
Yes.
Okay. So walking in front of window here, I mean it's kind of necessary, but what we could do a little bit better is kind of walk towards the wall here and then come around the corner instead of walking kind of in the street.
Okay.
Push up here. We should wait out the lamp and then go. When Orisa's going to ult is pretty predictable. I mean, most Orisas will do what you're doing here, is that they javelin spin in for the movement boost, and then they ult. So we can see lamp gets pushed in. You ult anyway. You know, we can burst down the lamp first and then ult. Thankfully, someone else gets the lamp down. We get the bat. Great javelin. We still die. So what you need to work on here is your accuracy, your javelin accuracy, your cooldown management. You're not like staying alive and being that unkillable Orisa. If you want, we can go back and I can go through with you every time you waste Fortify.
I feel like I have a good idea of when I wasted Fortify, and a lot of them was just when I was at maybe 300 health and excuse me, I'm sorry. I had some armor left, or I was kind of popping Fortify when I was pushing in.
Right. You can use Javelin Spin or Fortify to take the space, but you can really only use Fortify to hold the space. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And my plan right there was to just kind of put a shield down that I could somewhat use, and also that Sojourn who was being pocketed could use.
Yeah. Come on. Okay. So once we know the Widow's there, we should reposition our shield to contest the Widow.
Okay.
We don't. Nice. Where's the Widow? I mean, we can see her right here, but like...
Yeah, she's up top.
A tip on Sigma is when you are... Well, I'll just draw like this. When you are here, I don't know your character here, and you're trying to shoot somebody over here, if you shoot them like waist high, chest high, you kind of have to impact them on their character to get that damage, okay? And you can like hit or miss that, right? However, if you shoot them near their feet, you have a chance to like shoot them like actually at their feet and get that impact damage, or you might actually miss them and hit the ground right next to them, but you'll still get that splash damage and you won't entirely miss. So it's a good idea to actually aim at kind of like knee down on a lot of characters on Sigma, because you
Okay.
almost always guaranteed to hit the enemies. Okay.
Okay.
See how much you're missing right now.
Mhm. This is actually the first time that I've known that Sigma has splash damage. I know like Sigma's things can like ricochet, but I've never like heard or saw anything of like Sigma having splash damage on his pellets.
From what I just told you.
Hmm?
Like I just told you that, and you just realized that.
Yeah, I just realized that. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
never knew that was a thing.
Yeah. Like Sigma's spheres they do some kind of impact damage, and then they have splash damage on top of it. So
Okay.
like if there's a bunch of enemies hit around here, and you hit like here or whatever, it could potentially damage, maybe these three, but it'll miss this person. And it's a very low number. It's probably like 10, 15 damage or something like that, right?
Okay.
Nice. Nice. Okay. The one thing I'm concerned about here
Mhm.
is when you turn around for the Zarya, what's happening behind you?
Like behind me where I was facing, or behind me where the Zarya's at?
Behind you now, currently.
Behind me now. Uh, the the team that I was fighting is now not being harassed as much as I was like giving them when I was facing them.
Mm-hmm. And what's your shield health at?
It's at 140.
Mm-hmm. And if you were to get in trouble here, someone were to just everyone start shooting you, do you have your suck ability?
No, it's on cooldown.
No, it's on cooldown. So what I'm concerned about here is you commit a little too hard, and you could have easily died here, um, if the enemy team, excuse me, if the enemy team like focused you. So I mean, turning around for the Zarya isn't like bad. It's just that I would have preferred if you have turned around at least once to kind of see what was happening. So, did you know Sojourn was up here, for instance? No. Um, Kiriko went past your shield? No. So your shield's only blocking the BAP right now, which is why I didn't die. They just walked past your shield and it's ineffective. You see what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You will see the higher you go, the more actions per minute you'll see. So let's say, I mean, who's a good Sigma player? Let's say Emong. I don't know. Emong plays a lot of Sigma. So you'll see Emong here. He's playing this, and Azario will walk past him. He might put shield down like this. But he'll turn around probably 2 or 3 times to look at the enemy team, and he'll do that. He'll turn around very quickly while your hyperspheres are on cooldown, quote unquote, right? You can shoot, and then there's a small window where you can't shoot, and then you can shoot again. In that small window, there should be some movement with your camera to see what's going on, and you'll see higher elo players actually use that. Okay.
Okay.
We should recall our shield, because if it dies, it takes longer to come back to us or heal back up, and we can reuse it again. So when it's below like 100 HP, we should just recall it, let it charge back up, and reuse it again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over something. On this map specifically,
Uh-huh.
this area here is very highly valuable, especially this little perch, um, because it gives a lot of utility and flexibility to the attacking team. They can just walk up here. They don't have to use any movement abilities. First of all, they can drop down to caves here. They can drop down over here. They can drop down over here, or they can go over here, right? There is a ton of different pathways they can go just from standing
Hmm.
here. Okay, so because of that, it is valuable for you, for your teammates to actually be up here and contest this area and not let them walk up here for free. Okay.
So I, as the tank, should want to prioritize being up there to hold it.
Yes, specifically because your hyperspheres have such a long range, you can contest them um, a lot easier than maybe your teammates can. And again, you're a tank, you can have a shield, you have a lot more survivability, so you can probably stay up here a lot longer than, say, your Sojourn, for instance. And
Okay.
then if they do decide to come down here, you can just shoot them from down here or from up here, right? And
Okay.
now they're forced to contest you up here because you're just being up here for quote unquote for free. Okay.
Okay.
Now watch where they go.
Bless
And
you.
they just walk up there. They take this little pathway. They get behind you. See? Okay. Let's go back. Just do you think here this was a good ult?
I would say so, yes.
I would have to agree with you because sorry, I just used a bubble, I believe. Two squishies in here. You're you have three. It's four. Like it's good. It's okay. Um, crap. We lose Genji, so that's kind of not good. She used bubble on herself instead of a teammate, which is, you know, we miss. So what should we have done instead?
Should have focused on killing the supports that I had caught within the vortex.
Right. So we had Kiriko and Bap. Does Bap have MO? He does have MO. So it's useless to kind of and he uses it. Okay. Okay. So we know what happens. We know our mistake. Our mistake is just we don't have a good accuracy, and there's nothing I can really do about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that you chose to shoot the Ashe and not the Kiriko here. So we kill the Ashe. Nice. We shouldn't jump back down though. Now we're in more danger from the Zarya. You want to keep our distance from the Zarya. So do you see what happened there?
Yeah, I just got real turned around, and because I had left the high ground, I basically let myself get surrounded.
Yes. Okay. So we stay up here where they have to again use some kind of movement to get up here, or they walk up here, right? To contest
Mm-hmm.
you. And we have all of this space here that we can give up if necessary to not die and win the game. But we don't do either.
A revelation was within my reach.
The payload is approaching its destination.
When Sigma first came out,
Hmm.
and we were like learning what his abilities were, we knew what his kit was, right? He could put his shield out, right? That was separate from his body. I knew at that instant I was going to be a terrible Sigma player because I would put my shield out and then I would just walk by it and forget it was there. My object permanence is absolutely garbage. Okay, so I can see from your VOD that you have trouble with that as well. You forget where your shield is and you just randomly recall it when, oh crap, I need my shield. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it. I have to recall it first.
Hmm.
I can see that. So that's something else you need to practice and try to be a little more aware of. Again, you can like put a sticky note on your monitor or something to try to remind you of that. Okay.
Okay.
Um, it looks like you know about the melee cancel or the not the melee cancel, but you know the shoot melee thing. Um,
Excuse me.
do you have any other questions? Do you feel like we went over enough material?
Um, I feel like we did. I guess my only question would be, for practicing my aim, what would your suggestions be?
Um, for Sigma and Orisa?
I guess in general, like I don't really play Sigma or Orisa that much. I think I put in my post, I mainly play Diva, but because of just the weird spot tanks are in, I've been trying to flex into different roles to practice them, but I do play a lot of Orisa, yes.
Um, there's probably some workshop codes you can look and see. Um, again, playing the game is going to be the best option for you because that's going to simulate the actual game, right? Playing the game. That that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Play the game, you'll get more game sense. You'll also get better at aiming just through sheer repetition of playing.
yeah. I mean, practicing and playing the game is a little bit separate. Um, like for instance, in Overwatch One, I was coaching in Orisa, and Orisa had her what's it called? Her like orb ability, and then she could
Hmm.
like suck people into a specific spot, right?
Yeah.
So what I was having this player do is they would stand here on Orisa, and I would on Reaper stand off to the side, and he would use this ability to pull me to a specific location, and then predict where I was going to be based on where he pulled me, and then headshot me. Okay, that's practicing. We're doing that. We were doing that during our VOD. He could do that on his own, right? He
Okay.
could, quote unquote, do that. Sorry. He could do that in his game when he's playing quick play or when he's playing comp. That's no longer practice, but he's still doing the exact same thing. Okay. Um, you want to make your practice somewhat predictable in some way with either a workshop code or something. You don't want to play in a workshop code where you're trying to practice aiming if you can't really predict where the enemies or training boss or whatever is going to be. Um, because you're playing like a projectile hero.
Hmm.
Okay. It'd be a lot better if you can get the timing down. So like there's a there's a workshop code for the training range where you can activate like a tracer, a pharmacy, that kind of stuff, right? And the tracer just kind of zigzags back and forth and she blinks and she probably does it predictably eventually if you do it enough. But if you try to shoot that tracer with the Orisa, you're just going to be flailing your crosshair across your computer screen. Like it's not gonna help at all, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would try to find something that is a bit more predictable, and you can tell, oh, if I shoot here and the tracer just moves, and now I shoot here and the tracer follows me, you know, what's the angle I have to change to, right? And you can like
Hmm.
trial and error kind of figure that out. Okay. Um, does that answer your question?
Um,
I feel like I
kind
rambled.
of. It's okay. I guess it kind of. I guess like my follow-up question would be, I don't really know too much about the workshop, so where would I go for like codes like that?
Discord.
Discord. Okay.
Or you could look online. There's probably a workshop Discord server where they share just workshop codes. Um, I know. Are you in Elo Hell?
No, I am not. I'm
Okay.
not in outside of this server. I'm not in any like Overwatch related Discord.
Um, let me see. I'm just looking through it. They don't. Let me look at Overwatch. The workshop on Overwatch 2 is like not as good. They did something to it I remember seeing where I don't see anything. I can't remember what happened, but like there anyway, in Overwatch 1 it was out for like 5, 6 years, right? After a while the
Hmm.
workshop came out and like we could create like anything we really wanted to. Like we played Uno in Overwatch 1. That was pretty cool. But something with Overwatch 2, it's like buggy or um, all the information is not released yet, so they can't really play with it as much. So you might have to wait for it and just kind of like play quick play or go to the training range. You know, like in the training range that like down the stairs area where the bots just walk back and forth.
Yes,
Um,
that's where I like to practice my aim a lot.
you could stand 90 degrees to the bots. That way you have to move back and forth with your crosshair to try to better predict. After a while, it gets pretty boring and you're going to be pretty good at it. So, um, if I find any information about Overwatch workshop codes, I will definitely put it somewhere in the server for you guys.
Okay.
Anything else?
Mm, no, I think that's it, unless there was anything else like last minute you wanted to add.
I think we've only been at this for like 30 minutes. Do you want to go over another code?
Um, sure. Give me just a second. Let me throw up Overwatch real quick.
You said you don't normally play Orisa and Sigma, so you normally play
Yeah.
Diva?
Yes, I haven't played Diva this season. Just because I was like I was like one I saw kind of how the meta was shifting since I was working during the when the patch came out and I saw a lot of people talking about how some of the tanks had shifted out and I was seeing some of the people like not Emong. I forget who it was, but I was like watching a Twitch stream and someone had asked like how some of the other tanks were, and everyone was basically saying like either play Orisa, Sigma, or Roadhog this season. So I was trying to get some practice on Orisa. Hold on one sec. I'm trying to find a code. It's on the role I like to play a lot as well, and it's on a character that I do main, but it's for DPS. Would that be all right?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. Um, Copy code. I DM'd it to you.
Welcome to Circuit Royale.
Okay.
Ready for battle.
Which is black for no reason.
Greetings.
So, Gami on Soldier.
Soldier, yes. If I'm not playing tank, I'm playing DPS, and I almost always play Soldier on DPS or Sombra.
So, let me go back to something you said earlier, which was like the tanks. The tanks that
Mhm.
are quote unquote meta right now are Hog and Doom, and really Doom is meta, and Hog is also meta because he can counter Doom okay-ish, and
Mhm.
Hog is actually pretty good on his own anyway.
Yeah.
So all the other tanks aren't meta. Um, that doesn't mean you can't play them. The meta,
Okay.
okay, according to statistics, okay,
Uh huh.
from the past like 6 years, meta picks start to actually matter in masters and above.
Okay.
If you are diamond and below, playing the meta does not give you a distinct advantage from not playing the meta.
Mhm.
Does that
Yeah,
make
that makes sense. I've always been the kind of person who I always feel bad about playing the characters I want to play, even if they may not be the correct choice, especially in like a comp game mode. So I try to stick to something that is meta to at least give a better chance.
um let me share something.
Okay.
In one meta, Lucio Brig was meta.
Mm-hmm.
Lucio Brig isn't a ton of healing. Um, in one meta, Brig Zen was meta. That's not a lot of healing either. Um, and the reason it's not, the reason it's meta is because higher elo players, what ends up happening is metas form by either finding burst damage or sustain. Okay. So
Okay.
have you heard of the goats meta?
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
Goats meta was sustain, very high sustain. Um, there was another meta that was like Sigma Ball, Briggs, and I think it was Kree Tracer. And the ball and the Tracer just dove the enemy team. The ball power drive and the Tracer burst down the whoever it was, right? And then the enemy
Mm-hmm.
team would try to deny that. Okay, that's like a burst meta. Okay, metas are found basically by going back and forth and seeing which works, which combination of characters is the best. Right now, it's burst because hog hook and burst because of rocket punch. Okay, um, where was I going with this? In higher elos, it is easier to play burst metas because those players have an easier time denying enemy players damage and they can stay alive a lot longer. The lower the elo you go, the more damage you're likely going to take because you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of characters can just get damage by just existing. Okay? So, in burst metas, lower elos, it's harder and much harder to play. So, I would not worry about that at all.
Okay.
Um, that doesn't mean you can't play it. It's just going to be a lot harder to play and play correctly. You have to play the meta correctly to make it work. Um, if a bronze team tried to play that Lucio Brig meta, that's not going to work. Their Reinhardt or whoever it was is just going to die immediately because he doesn't know what he's doing. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay, if you come over here, you are committing to this. Um, if this team ends up winning the first fight, you don't get enough value over here, or your team doesn't get enough value over here, you are committing to this. You are going to die over here. Okay.
Okay.
5, 4, 3,
Because what happens when
Stop the payload.
the enemy team is here? Maybe two of them are shooting over here, and you want to get out. Like, where's your escape?
There really isn't one.
Exactly. Okay.
Let's mobilize.
Okay, your Ryan's a dumbass. Can't help that.
Unfortunately, that was the theme this battle, or not this battle, this match.
See, now you have to escape.
I'll try to repay the favor. Powered up.
Wow.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised too. I did not hear any of them coming up at all, and when I turned the corner and I saw them both, I thought for sure I was gonna die there.
So, like we talked about before in your other game, we want to be taking high grounds.
Okay.
Well, the enemy soldier. We're talking about the enemy soldier. Because who on their team? Your blue team. So who on your team can contest you on low ground?
The Cassidy, the Orisa, the Bastion, and I guess the Moria if she dives.
Everybody. If somebody's standing 5 meters from you, 10 meters from you, anybody can shoot at you, right? But who can contest you on high ground very easily?
Really only the Cassidy and the Bastion.
Yeah. The more can maybe fade to you. That's a bad idea. The Orisa can shoot at you, but like she's a projectile, so you can pretty easily just round a corner, right? And she can hit scan you with her scoped in, so you have to watch out for that. But yeah,
Okay.
you can more easily avoid damage if you're on high ground. Should you be here?
I should not know.
Should you be here?
No.
So I'm really super concerned about this. You get greedy for the Bastion kill, and there's like 4 enemies looking at you right now. This is super concerning. And the Ryan comes and saves you. And wrong move. Where are you going?
Feeling grand.
Now you're stuck here.
No one can hide from my sight.
They know you're over here because you're making loud noises. And you still get out. What is that? Okay. What are you doing?
I was well, okay, so I guess to explain, the Alice or the Mercy, which is Alice, I was queuing with them. This was me playing with them. This is their first time playing comp, and I was trying to like communicate with them that I wanted them to boost me while I was gonna do my ultimate. But I guess it was in the chaos they didn't hear me.
Okay. So you ran up to try to get them to boost you.
Yes. Because I figured with the like boosted soldier ult, we could have gotten some.
Okay. Here's the problem.
Okay.
I understand that's a good idea. That is a great idea. But your Ryan's contesting the point. He needs help. Okay.
Okay.
The point only needs to go just a little bit more, and they cap. So he goes to commit to the point, and we're doing fuck all over here.
Mm-hmm.
What would have been just, I mean, you guys already lost this, but what would have been a little bit better is just to heal station here, and then just commit to the visor.
Okay.
That might have saved the point, might have not. Who the hell knows? But that would have been a little bit better than doing nothing. Okay, you can't hear it, but the audio's fucked right now, so I'm gonna reload it.
Okay.
Welcome to Circuit Royale. Ready for battle.
The rocket got you. I'm feeling unstoppable.
Wow.
Get out of my way or I'll run you over. That's better.
So just a tip. Helix Rocket does 120, I believe. Your melee does either 30 or 35. I can never remember. So
Okay.
if you can shoot her to get her below this 150 range, or do this combo and then shoot her, it doesn't really matter unless you're concerned with her fade ability. But doing that little combo when you're that close to her is a good idea and something you should probably practice.
So Helix, melee, and then shoot to finish her off.
Yes, unless she's already low. Then you can do the combo first. Because you want to do the combo first when you turn the corner, because it's surprise burst damage. She's not expecting it, okay?
Okay.
If you shoot her first and she, let's see, does she have fade? She does have fade. So if you shoot her now and then you try that whole combo, then she's just gonna fade while you're comboing, right?
Okay.
So you want to turn the combo, turn the corner, do the combo, and then she should fade, right? Because she's about to die, and then you can just chase her down and shoot her. Okay. You see this combo done on tracers all the time. J3 does it pretty frequently.
That's better.
And if you can time it correctly, it's almost instantaneous.
Okay.
Because Helix Rocket's a projectile, melee damage is instant damage. You can shoot the rocket and melee right after, and it usually hits at the exact same time, and they just die instantly.
Okay. That's actually good to know for tracers. I feel like I always struggle with hitting tracers as most characters, so combos like that can at least scare them off enough to where I can worry about them at a separate time would be nice.
A better position for you would be here, because you have to cross all of this space. You're like here, right? You have to cross all of the space to get to cover. An even better position for you is right here.
Okay.
So look at the sideline you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have both these as cover. You can heal station to sustain yourself. The other thing you want to take into account on DPS is your tank has this angle. Your Ana has this angle. Your Widow was over here, I think. You want to, as DPS, take a different angle than your tank almost all the time. Because your tank's creating a distraction. He's being a really big threat here. So everybody on his team, or the enemy team, is going to be shooting at him, right? And you can come over here and shoot them from the side where they're distracted and they're not shooting at you. On DPS, your goal, okay, is to shoot enemies that are not looking at you, and you have clear line of sight of them, and you have cover nearby in case they start shooting at you.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Okay. She's just dumb. your Widow is holding this angle over here. The fact that you're over here is fine. One of you should be on that little perch. Both of you should not.
The perch you were talking about where the Widow's standing, or the one where you're highlighting? Oh, that one.
This
Okay,
one.
okay.
She comes back down, which is a mistake. It is what it is. Okay, should you be doing this?
No, I should not.
No, you should be running the fuck away. Okay, I'm gonna go back. And you tell me when you're in danger and you should be running away.
Okay. I would say right about there.
Get healed.
Like when she first pulls me in for her ultimate.
So when she ults.
Yes.
Okay, you are in danger when she steps past the Rhine shield. Because now the Rhine shield is no longer protecting you, right? Now, your Rhine is absolutely clueless and doesn't turn around. The fact that she pushes that deep into you is pretty predictable, right? We talked about this earlier. Pretty predictable that she's about to ult. Okay?
Yeah.
That's something we should be conscious of and think about ahead of time.
Still got some fight in me.
Okay, the audio is messed up again.
Oh man.
I did this a while ago too. I don't know why it keeps happening. I don't know if it's my headset or the game.
Welcome to circuit. We're ready for battle.
I'm gonna go to attack to kind of get a better idea of how you play on attack rather than defense.
Okay.
On defense, you just need to be more aware of when do I back up and when do I not. And I think we've gone over that effectively.
Alrighty. I mean, I think we have, yeah.
And you end up folding anyway. Okay. Okay. So you win this game. Is this comp? This is comp.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Anna, what has been going on in Egypt? It sounds serious.
I know, like I said, this is like Alice's like first comp game, but last season I think I placed silver on DPS. Or not last, sorry, not last season. I think it was like I think this was a silver lobby because I remember like pulling up. That's right. Got confused when I entered the lobby. Some of the players' profiles were public, so I got to look at them, and most of the lobby was silver.
Do you think you should be over here?
Possibly not.
Why not?
I mean, if I push the Widowmaker and I'm not careful, she could easily one-tap me. But if I also could harass her and get her away from the ledge that she's on, and maybe even get a pick, which would effectively leave them at a 4v5. But I feel like that would also be kind of down to my confidence and my ability to kill her.
On attack, you should absolutely come over here every single time if you're playing like a hit scan character, or even like Junkrat. Because they should have a person over here, right? You were here on defense. So you should expect somebody here on defense if they're, knowledgeable about the game and they know what they're doing. Now, what are they gonna do about it?
For them, they could
Like,
either.
let's pretend you kill the widow right here, and you're the only person over here.
Oh, then I guess they effectively have to focus me to kill me or give up space to find cover, which would allow my team to push up even further.
Exactly, you're exactly right. So I want you to realize that a lot of players don't realize this. Is if you're standing here, what space can you see? All of this, right?
Hmm.
So now the team have to be a little bit. This team have to be a little bit more conscious that you're here. They have to pay more attention to you. Um, they cannot be up here, right? Because now you're shooting them in the back. So
Yeah.
if they were here, they would have to come back here, right? And now, just because you're over here, you are creating space for your team.
Hmm.
Okay, anybody can do this on your team. Crap. Where are you at? Now, can the widow kill you? Yeah. You can AD spam and crouch and hug walls, make it a little bit harder for her. But she's already like 1 health, so like if you don't kill her here, she one shots you. That's the game. That's a widow for you, but you should kill her. Okay.
That was for Gerard.
And now we're here. As soon as someone starts looking at us, or we get shot at, we should helix, or not helix, heal station. Okay, we do.
Biotics deployed.
We want to try to pressure the Bastion to help our Pharah.
Hmm. Which is what I was trying to do, but then I lost him within the visual clutter of everybody gathering around him.
Okay, what should you do now?
I should probably find a way to get onto that uh, overpass that the Rhine is standing under,
Mm-hmm.
or get onto the high ground that's to my left.
Do you know how to get up here?
I know for some characters like Soldier, you can kind of like strafe jump to it. Um, I know for like other characters like Junkrat or Widow, they can use their abilities to get up there. But I
Okay.
think the normal way is to like walk past the enemy team where they're at and go up the stairs that way.
I'm not making fun of you here, but that just shows you that you don't know the map very well, and maybe
Okay.
you don't play as much as other players. Um, it just takes some knowledge of the game to know that you can just walk.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Um,
I don't get this map a lot, so.
yeah. It's okay, but you were correct. But we can also just walk. Now that we've rounded this corner, so you are positioning, you're rotating very well, right? Now that your team is occupying this space, being up here is ineffective, right? We can't see
Mhm.
anybody. So we're gonna have to walk over here anyway. Now that we've rounded this corner and we've taken this space, what would be a good position for you?
Hugging the statue and playing the statue.
Exactly. Let's go! Okay, now that we've rounded this space, what would be a good position for you?
Um, I'm gonna make a guess and say I probably want to go up the stairs and contest the high ground ledge that is pretty good for defenders. Or I want to play the hedgerow that our Reinhardt is staring in front of.
Yeah, you're right. You don't really have a good position here because this high ground over here is very oppressive. So until our Reinhardt turns this corner, we don't really have a good position. Um, when we're looking at here, this perch is super valuable, right? As the other team. So what are you gonna do about it? Now, the really only thing you can do about it is to come up these stairs and kind of like hug this corner and try to be a little nuisance over here, right? You can do that. Players do that, but you have to have good timing, okay? So let's see what you do. The main thing we want to do is just cap the point, and then we can kind of do better. Where should you be?
I should be pushing up towards the billboard advertisement on my left. Now that we've got this cap, and the Ryan is probably pushing up there as well.
So you want to put yourself in a position where these people want to be here, is what you're saying, somewhere over here.
Yeah, like kind of up there, yeah.
So you want to be where these people can see you, and these people can see you from this perch or from over here.
Well, can they see you when you're pressed up against the hedgerow?
Oh, you mean like right here?
Yeah, like kind of like pressed up against the hedgerow and like playing that to where I don't know if they can or can't see you, but I feel like
No, they can't. But the idea here is still the same, is where you're in the middle of their team.
mhm.
And even if they can't see you, they can just walk up to you and surround you very easily. So instead, we should just kind of back up into this room or further down here and isolate targets.
Okay.
So from here, we can only see one enemy, right?
Yeah, we can only
that's overextending. From
yeah.
here, we can only see two, right? From
Mhm.
here, we have a Bastion that can burst us down very, very quickly. So the main concern here that I'm concerned about is this Bastion. And that the fact that these two people here are in your face and they're surrounding you, okay? And we're not very, very aware that that is a problem.
Bless you.
And we retreat in the wrong direction.
My servants never die.
If I'm still standing, I'm still fighting.
Does that whole thing make sense to you?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So now is a perfect time for what?
Now would be a perfect time for pushing up the stairway and trying to take that perch.
Absolutely right. Because our team is holding this angle, right? And we don't want to take the same angle as them. And really, our only other option is to give me free cam. Now, if I remember correctly, these stairs just go here. Yeah, okay. So we could do a little flanky flank if we wanted to. Or we could just come up here and take another angle, right? Pretty free. See what you do? We want to front line, not good. Okay. I feel like you have a better understanding. Do you want to go over something else within this?
No, I think I've actually kind of got a better understanding of what I should be doing on that. No offense to you, I think it's just with the first VOD, since I don't play those characters as much, it wasn't really, uh, I couldn't absorb as much, but I feel like with this, since it's a character I play a lot and have a lot of hours on, it's easier for me to kind of understand what I should and shouldn't be doing.
Okay. You can play, especially in bronze, you can play anything you want.
Okay.
You do not feel like you have to play what other streamers or Overwatch content creators say you have to play to be good at the game or to gain SR or whatever. Play whatever you
Hmm.
want, play what you're comfortable with, play who you like, and it is it is a good idea to get good at a small number of heroes and then start branching out from there once you have a better understanding of how the game plays.
Okay, so I should play characters I feel comfortable with and get really, really good at them, and then like when I start entering the level where flexing becomes more important, start learning how to, excuse me, I'm sorry, learning how to like play other characters I should be flexing into.
Sure, yeah. If you try to one trick Rhine right now,
Hmm.
you're gonna hit a wall around like Diamond.
Hmm.
Um, so then that's when you would have to be like, you're gonna lose games because you're still playing Rhine and you're not
Yeah.
playing something else. That's gonna be
Hmm.
necessary, but um, I don't see that's not gonna be a problem for you. So just play whatever you like. Okay.
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 Alrighty.
Any questions?
No questions at all.
Okay, good luck in your games. Try to play maybe 50 to 100 hours before you contact me again about another VOD. Um, and if you have any questions um, in between that time, you can always ask.
Okay.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.